We are just moments away from the first pitch at Dodger Stadium in what is essentially a must-win for the Brewers in Game 3 of the National League Championship Series.
Fans are gathering around town. Also, a look at that shocking video of the attack on board a Madison Metro bus that sent the bus into an East Side restaurant.
Plus, how the president says he will make in vitro fertilization treatments more affordable for Americans. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
And we are just minutes away from the first pitch at Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles. The Dodgers host the Brewers. It's Game 3 of the National League Championship Series.
The crew are hoping to secure their first win of this series, even though they're miles away. Fans are still gathering all across Wisconsin to watch the game and cheer on the crew. Our Maddie Heimsch is live at one of those celebrations tonight on Regent Street. Maddie?
Susan and Eric, we've been at Lucky's here on Regent Street for about an hour now waiting for the game to come, and I've been talking to fans, some loyal fans sitting at the bar waiting for the game, and they felt pretty optimistic as I've been talking to them. But now, as the game is coming, maybe the nerves are starting to set in. So let's talk to a few fans, see how they're feeling. We have a nice group of ladies here ready to watch the game. Any thoughts on tonight's game?
Brewers are going to get it done.
Did you watch the first two games of the series?
I did, yes, both. So they're going to do better tonight. They're going to pull it together.
How do we feel?
I feel like they need to hit the ball. Yeah, hit the ball.
Hit the ball, and that's some good advice. That's some good advice.
Just some better pitching, some good base running, and we'll get it done.
Getting it done. Everyone feel the same? Yeah. Not too nervous?
Yeah.
See?
100%.
See, a lot of optimism here, and that's what I was saying. So we are going to stick around here, maybe go to Jordan's across the street, get a little bit more of that fan reaction as the game starts, but we are just minutes away now. So I'm going to send it back to you, Susan and Eric, in the studio, reporting live from Regent Street. I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
I definitely
like the ball.
Hit it better and pitch it better. Great advice. I think that's going to get it done. Maddie, thanks you.
Thanks, Maddie.
Well, a new bipartisan bill would make sports betting legal in Wisconsin. The legislation would amend Wisconsin's statute to exclude from the definition of bet a sports or event wager placed by a person located in Wisconsin when the server processing that wager is located on a federally recognized tribe's Indian lands and conducted under a tribal state gaming compact. Now, the change enables tribes and the states to utilize a legally recognized hub and spoke model left standing by the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, that is, back in 2024.
Let's get a check on the weather now and another chance for showers tonight.
Blaze has more.
That's right. We are looking at that chance for maybe an isolated shower or two staying north of the Dells this evening. But let's start out first in Dodgeville. We've kind of been going around the southern Wisconsin area throughout the last hour or so. We're in Dodgeville. Upland Hill Skycam showing some clear skies, 66 degrees. Winds are out of the southeast at about 8 miles an hour. To our north in parts of Juneau, Adams, Green Lake, Marquette, and even parts of Sauk County. That's where we'll take it, as that's where there's a little bit more cloud cover and some rain. Stretching from Mayville back north and west into Newchester. Montello dealing with some of that light to moderate rain activity, pushing into Ripon as well as into Fond du Lac over the next hour or so. Reedsburg, Woodland, as well as Hillsboro, Elroy. We're looking at Mauston and the Dells dealing with some of that, again, light to moderate rain activity. We may squeeze out a shower or two further south, but I think most of that rain is going to stay off to our north this evening. Current temperatures ranging from the upper 50s in Black River Falls to the upper 60s. Monroe, Platteville, and Prairie du Chien coming all in at 67 degrees at 65. Madison, Middleton, and 64 in Cross Plains. Bit more rain expected this weekend. Will it impact your going to the Badgers game as they take on the Ohio State Buckeyes? We'll take a look at that and time out just how much rain we could receive by the time we start off next week in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Now to the video of that attack on board a Madison Metro bus.
The altercation led to a crash that damaged a restaurant on Madison's east side. And we want to warn you that this video may be difficult for some to watch. Our Tanasia Shaw is breaking down the video, and Tanasia, people will recall this incident caused the driver to lose control of the bus.
Yes, Susan and Eric, the driver lost control of the vehicle after the 26-year-old you see on the screen right here, Raven Johnson, attacked him. Here's the video. After Johnson hit the driver, you see them in a scuffle. As the fight continues, you can see the bus is starting to move. Eventually, the driver manages to make a right turn. Then you can see the collision, the exact moment when the bus hit the Asian House restaurant on Madison's east side. After the crash, Johnson goes goes back to to attack the driver again. Prosecutors say this incident happened because the bus route didn't go where Johnson wanted to go. Johnson is now facing 3 years in prison, and the driver and another person is injured because of this crash. And during our next newscast at 6, I will break down the rest of this video.
All right, Tanasia, thank you. Technology and teamwork saved a life in Iowa County last night around 7:15. Dispatchers received a 911 call from a 22-year-old hunter near Mill Road in Ridgeway Township, suffering from a serious injury and heavy bleeding. Using a system called What 3 Words, dispatchers pinpointed the hunter's exact location, even in a remote wooded area with no landmarks. The Iowa County Sheriff's Office says the system divides the world into 10-foot squares that can be pinpointed even without GPS service.
The DNR is getting ready for the start of the 2025 elk hunting season this Saturday. It's the state's 8th elk season since reintroducing the species and the first year that hunters can harvest antlerless elk. 13 hunters were randomly selected from more than 26,000 applicants. The DNR says both the Clam Lake and Black River elk herds are thriving thanks to strong recruitment and a successful calving season. Applications for the elk hunt next year open in March and run through May 31st.
Today, the former Wisconsin Democratic Party chair Ben Wickler announced he will not be running for governor. There had been some speculation surrounding whether Wickler would enter the race after he stepped down as party chair earlier this year. Wickler says he'll be working with Governor Evers and the new state Democratic Party chair Devin Remiker to support the party's Governor Readiness Project. The project would leverage party resources and fundraising efforts to support the Democratic gubernatorial primaries winner.
The nation's largest banks are reporting a big jump in profits from last year, but many Americans say they are struggling. According to a new survey from Primerica, about 69% of middle-income Americans say their income is falling behind the cost of living, and that is up from 50% 5 years ago.
The cumulative effect of inflation, prices at the grocery store, prices for daycare, prices for housing, prices for healthcare, that is putting pressure on people. Even if you are lucky enough to have a retirement plan at work, that is for decades in the future.
The survey also found about half of Americans are increasingly using their rainy day emergency funds to make ends meet, with fewer people paying off their credit card balances month to month.
In recent months, retail coffee prices in the U.S. have jumped. Prices have increased by more than 20% in August compared to last year. 99% of all coffee consumed in the U.S. is imported. It's according to the National Coffee Association. And with many coffee bean growing countries slammed with those tariffs from the Trump administration, big brands and small shops have been trying to absorb costs.
Because costs are high now. For the first time ever, we're thinking about, okay, well, maybe let's just not print the gold on the inside, because that could save us another couple of cents a bag. We're trying to get creative without changing the quality of the product inside, which is what consumers care about the most.
But it's not just tariffs.
Shipping costs are also rising, while bad weather and droughts in places like Brazil and Vietnam are impacting harvests and production. When supply goes down, of course, the prices go up.
Alliant Energy is launching a 100-megawatt battery storage system in Grant County. The newly operational battery stores solar energy and releases it to the grid as needed. It's located next to the company's Grant County Solar Project, which features a 200-megawatt array capable of generating enough electricity to power more than 50,000 homes.
Today, President Trump announced a new deal to make IVF treatments cheaper for some Americans. The president said drug maker EMD Serono will make its fertility drug available on the government's direct-to-consumer website, TrumpRx. According to the White House, only about 30% of families have insurance that covers in vitro fertilization treatments. And for those who don't have insurance, buying the drugs directly will save several $1,000s.
There's no deeper happiness and joy of raising children, and now millions of Americans struggling with infertility will have a new chance to share the greatest experience of them all.
President Trump also announced the administration will allow companies to offer supplemental insurance plans specifically for fertility treatment, similar to vision and dental.
Well, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and many doctors have been stressing the importance of getting mammograms. But did you know that breast cancer imaging can also detect hidden signs of heart disease. A study at Mount Sinai is informing women about breast arterial calcification, or BAC. About 12% of patients in the trial show BAC. The goal is to make it a standard part of mammography nationwide.
If a radiologist puts in the report that there's breast arterial calcification, I would want every gynecologist, every primary care doctor to then tell the patient, let's check it out.
Right now, if the radiologist notices BAC on the mammogram, they report it. Doctors expect in the coming years, artificial intelligence will identify calcifications and automatically put it in the report. Still ahead tonight at 5, rescue efforts are underway after massive flooding in Alaska.
And Republican lawmakers try to fund parts of the government during the shutdown, while Democrats say they are not playing ball. And our Packer senior writer Jason Wilde from Lambeau Field, the latest on the health of place kicker Brandon McManus before Sunday's game out in Arizona. And another day of deep red numbers on Wall Street. The Dow falls more than 301 points. The NASDAQ loses 107.5. The S&P 500 down about 42. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Republicans rolled out a new tactic to fund parts of the government during the shutdown.
It is the first spending measure to come to the floor since the shutdown began 16 days ago. Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
The Senate took a procedural vote on a bill that would fund the Pentagon and pay U.S. service members during the shutdown, but failed to get the votes needed to move forward with the legislation.
The motion is not agreed to.
Earlier Thursday, lawmakers tried for a 10th time to advance a Republican short-term spending bill to end the shutdown.
It would take just a handful of Democrats to reopen the government.
Senate Republicans continue to do the same exact thing and expect different results. That's the classic definition of legislative insanity.
Democrats insist any deal must include an extension of Affordable Care Act tax credits, but say Republicans are refusing to negotiate.
Leader Thune has not come to me with any proposal at this point.
Republicans say reopening the government should come first.
We're not conducting negotiations in a hostage situation.
Now, President Trump has said he plans to use the shutdown to slash the size of government by firing thousands of government workers. But a legal challenge from employee unions has put those plans on hold. Federal Judge Susan Ilston issued a temporary restraining order Wednesday, writing, "It is also far from normal for an administration to fire line-level civilian employees during a government shutdown as a way to punish the opposing political party. But this is precisely what President Trump has announced he is doing."
This is another far-left partisan judge who was smacked down by the Supreme Court in July for ruling on this exact same thing.
Unions representing federal workers who filed suit called the layoff plans unprecedented and unlawful. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton has been indicted. It comes as Bolton has been under investigation for alleged unlawful handling of classified information. Back in August, FBI agents executed search warrants on Bolton's home in Maryland and also his office in Washington, D.C.
A massive rescue effort is underway in western Alaska in the aftermath of Typhoon Halong. Military planes have been airlifting residents in isolated villages in what's being called one of the most significant evacuations in the state's history. Remnants of the typhoon brought a record storm surge, washing away homes and killing at least one person. Red Cross volunteers from Florida are now heading to Alaska to help.
When they ring a bell, we come nationwide, worldwide, and hopefully throughout the day and maybe even throughout the week, we'll see more American Red Cross staff and volunteers answer the call to go and help, because that's what we do.
At least 2 people remain missing following the storm.
Now to our weather, there is a chance for some rain tonight. Blaze, will there be even more showers by the time we hit the weekend?
There will be. We're really looking at Saturday night into Sunday as a second low quickly moves through the Chicagoland area and just reinforces some of that upward motion in the atmosphere, bringing us some beneficial rain, some much needed rain, actually. And we'll continue the shower chance tonight, mainly north of the Dells, where temperatures will hang out in the upper 50s to low 60s. Further to the south and west, more of those low 60s underneath a mix of mostly cloudy to partly cloudy conditions. Tomorrow, it's going to be breezy, and those southwesterly winds bump our temperatures underneath mostly cloudy to partly sunny conditions to near 80 as we head into the end of the work week. We should be right around 60 degrees, so some of us may be about 20 or 15 degrees warmer than average before we settle more into seasonal temperatures next week. Those southwesterly winds gusting upwards of about 20 to 25, maybe 30 miles per hour starting Friday afternoon. So keep that in mind if you are going to be traveling east or west. You may be dealing with some of these occasional wind gusts throughout the day, particularly late morning into the afternoon, and then again mid to late afternoon as our temperatures start to either warm up or as we head into the afternoon hours, start to cool on down. Those breezy conditions brought on by that low pressure system out in the Dakotas right now, it's going to make its way into parts of Canada, but its cold front is going to help not only bring us some rain Friday evening, but also help guide in that next low pressure system Saturday night into Sunday. So we are looking at breezy with a mix of mostly cloudy to partly sunny conditions on Friday. Saturday, I think most of that rain is going to be more to the south and east, especially into the second half of the day. We may squeeze out a shower around kickoff time tomorrow if you're going to be cheering on the Badgers, but a few showers can't be ruled out, maybe a thunderstorm or two as well. There's that second low pressure system quickly moving its way out of parts of Illinois, cruising through the Chicagoland area. This is going to pull a little bit of moisture off of Lake Michigan, give that extra oomph in the atmosphere to get a few showers, and once again, maybe a thunderstorm or two going Saturday night into Sunday. We've said goodbye to a lot of the blue, unfortunately, in this latest update, but we're still seeing some spots closer to Milwaukee, upwards of that inch to inch and a half. I would love to see more blue into parts of Wisconsin, but at this point, we'll take any rain we can. We're looking at probably widespread quarter to a half an inch of rain through the weekend. So if you're going to be cheering on the Badgers as they take on the Ohio State, it is going to be a cloudy, maybe sprinkly start if you're going to be tailgating, but shortly after kickoff, a lot of that rain likely going to be in the Milwaukee, southeastern Wisconsin area. But take the umbrella with you, and then when you get into Camp Randall, put on that rain poncho. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 70s at kickoff, and again, we may squeeze out a shower or an occasional non-severe thunderstorm. And I put this in quotations after the Badgers win. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Just
what
don't
an
put money
upset.
on it.
What an upset.
Hey, we'll keep our crazier things have happened.
Yes.
There is a look at the 7 and 10 day forecast.
I don't know what they are.
We're back into the low to mid 60s and upper 50s next week.
Come on. Now, what an upset that'll be.
Yes, that'll be quite the upset. I'm not putting money on that
All
one.
right. Next at 5, our News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde talked to kicker Brandon McManus today. The latest on his status for Sunday's game in Arizona when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, it's getting down to the wire on whether or not Packers kicker Brandon McManus will play this Sunday at Arizona.
On News 3 Now, senior Packers writer Jason Wilde spoke with McManus on how he's feeling ahead of the matchup.
I spent some time with Packers kicker Brandon McManus earlier this afternoon, and there's still a question as to whether the Packers veteran kicker will in fact return to work in the game on Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals out in the desert, or if the Packers will play it safe for one more week and go with Lucas Havrisik, his replacement, for another week in this game against the Cardinals. Now, Brandon McManus told us that he is not dealing with any pain when he walks or jogs or kicks on air, but he hasn't tested out his quadriceps, which he injured a week ago in practice. He did not kick against the Cincinnati Bengals here at Lambeau Field, and Havrisik made all 5 kicks he took, 2 field goals and 3 extra points. So the Packers feel good that if they want to play it safe with McManus, they've got a very capable replacement in Havrisik. We'll have that story a little bit later on our website, channel3000.com, where all of our Packers coverage is always free. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay, at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
And as Jason said, the Packers taking on the Cardinals this weekend. Kickoff set for 3:25 p.m. on Sunday.
Also in football news, the Badgers are playing the #1 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes this Saturday. And you can watch the game right here on News 3 Now. Kickoff is scheduled for 2:30 Saturday afternoon. Ohio State is undefeated at the moment, and the Badgers are 2-4.
I like that at the moment, though.
Well, I'm trying to find the silver lining. Blaze is back with a final check of the forecast when we come back.
E-bikes are more popular than ever, but are they worth a trip to the ER?
And we take you to a movie theater in Connecticut where the real story is the one that happens off screen. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And coming up tonight at 6, continuing coverage after new footage shows the moment a woman attacked a Madison Metro driver, causing him to crash. That story and more. Join us top of the hour. News 3 Now at 6.
And Blaze is here with a final check of our weather.
Yes, it is going to be a cloudy night out there as temperatures eventually settle into the 50s. Maybe a stray shower here or there. You can always track it out if you need to head out this evening using our First Warned Weather app's interactive radar. Rain is likely going to stay light to moderate if we see any, and I think most of it's going to stay north of the Dells this evening. Friday, breezy, some clouds, and warm, upper 70s to low 80s. We will maybe squeeze out a shower or two, maybe a thunderstorm as well. I think most of the rain holds off until the late afternoon hours on Saturday, picks up in intensity overnight, and then wraps up throughout the morning hours on Sunday. And then we say goodbye to those 70s and 80s, back into the more fall-like temperatures next week, hanging out in those mid to upper 50s to mid 60s.
At least we'll see the sun next week. That looks nice.
Yes, illuminate all the bright colors in the trees.
Yeah, it's almost peak around here, right?
It is, yeah. We're getting pretty close. We're about 50%, so.
Good stuff.
Halfway
Be
there.
prepared if you're going to that Badger game. You said late afternoon.
Yeah, I would take the umbrella if you're going to be tailgating, and the poncho into Camp Randall.
All right, CBS Evening News coming up next.
You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000 Plus. See